GG, man.
GG is for franchises I respect.
Oh, come on, man. I'm just a fan.
Yeah, a fan of a team with the same moral compass as Emma Stone with a butter knife.
I don't know what that means.
It means you hide your evil well, but now we know you're evil.
You seem really happy about this.
Oh, do I? Do I? That's because if there was one team going into this season that I wanted to beat in a way that embarrassed them, or devastated the fan base, or devastated the franchise, it was the Chicago Blackhawks. Okay, and the Toronto Maple Leafs. And the Habs. And the Pens, Capitals, Flyers. I'd be okay doing it to the Lightning.
1 hour later.
Orlando Solar Bears, the Hershey Bears, Wisconsin Badgers men team, Wisconsin Badgers women's team.
2 hours later.
The 1980 Russian Olympic team, the 2010 Canadian Olympic team, any Finnish Olympic team.
3 hours later.
Can you move it along? I'm all out of time cards.
And of course, who could forget the 1924 Hamilton Tigers? So yeah, clearly this game meant a lot to me. Low quality fans of a high quality Bruins team, that is a dub to bring us to 8-1-1, and let's be honest, that had to be a dub. If that was not a dub, we would have been very concerned. Overly concerned about one game's result, but let's be honest with ourselves. We would have been upset. We would have been upset. This week is a smorgasbord, and in this week, I'm guessing I'm saying the sense of like where the short shift pod week starts, where we cut it off on like a Tuesday and then Wednesday through the next Tuesday. Anyway, this week just sets us up for wins, right? Chicago, then Arizona, and then Chicago again. We need to win at least 2 of those games, right, for me to feel okay about it. These are bottom feeder teams. I hate Chicago right now. I'm really upset at that Blackhawks organization. I know a lot of people are. I continue to, it just doesn't, I have not gotten over any of the Kyle Beach stuff at all. And I know some of you might be like, yeah, but holding on to it's probably not great either. I'm going to hold on to it. I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do that. I'm still mad at that franchise. They're doing nothing in my eyes to fix any of it. They've continued to be assholes about it. So I'm going to hate their on-ice product. That's just it. I'm going to be a Neanderthal about it. I'm just going to dislike them. I'm okay with that. I wanted to beat them. I wanted to beat them in an embarrassing way. And you know what? I didn't get the embarrassing, but I did get frustrating. We did beat them in a way that brings up the second reason we needed this win, especially how it happened. We got to score the goal with less than a minute left. After allowing a goal with less than a minute left to tie the game or win the game in 3 of our last 4 games, we did the dang thing. And we deserve it. On top of all of that, I've really always hated the Blackhawks, so it's really easy for me to do this. They're 4-5-1 in their last 10. They're bad at virtually everything. They've been better since their horrid first month and a half, but still very bad. I thought we were going to get Fleury. I, like many of you, kind of went, you know what? I'm on the Fleury train. Once he was away from the Penguins, and I laughed at Fleury a lot when he was on the Penguins because the whole Vaucoon era to come in to, well, Fleury's so bad in the playoffs, we need like an emergency choice, da-da-da-da-da. I was very much on the, I like Fleury now as a player. And the longer his tenure went with other teams, the more I went, you know what? I really like him. And then he goes to the Blackhawks, and I feel bad for him. I wanted to pepper him this game. I wanted to smack him around. But he isn't playing. Instead, we get Lankinen starts. And he has been terrible all season. He actually had a decent game with some big saves, but he's been really bad this year, spotting an .885 save percentage of the season. That's tough. Sway is going to get the start. He's going to have another tough start. We're going to talk about him in a bit. Grizz is out for the second straight game. I'm not enjoying this. I like having Grizz in the lineup, so Ashawn is still in. The lines do not change. Really surprised at how lackadaisical we started this game. Because with the way the lines have been playing, I really kind of expected them to come in against a team that kind of sucked and just impose their will. Didn't happen. I want to point out something, though. because there's going to be a lot of feelings about this game. And I know I excuse a lot. I really do. I'm optimistic. I excuse a lot. Initially, I had zero thoughts going into it. And then after the first 5 minutes, where we don't look great, but we have the lead, and we're going to get there, I realized that as I look around the league, every good team over the last 5 or 6 games is getting weird results. Arizona's suddenly turning it on and scoring in bunches against teams, and they're beating some good teams. You have this Blackhawks team that's feisty. Columbus is fighting with people. Like, I know I'm kind of just talking about teams that we've played or are about to play, but if you look around the league, you're going to see teams like Toronto that all of a sudden are really struggling against bottom feeders. You're going to see the Panthers lose the occasional big game. Carolina couldn't handle the Senators this year. There's just certain weird ones. And I felt really soon in this game, really quickly, early in the game, I kind of went, this might be a weird one. And it turns out I was right. But I'm not going to pat myself on the back for that, because all of you felt the same thing, I assume. 28 seconds in, we've iced the puck, we've given up 2 scoring chances, and McAvoy gets called for a very, very weak hooking call. Really weak. But hey, it was called, set the precedent in the beginning of the game. If you're going to call those, call them all game. They didn't, but that's fine. It's still, I mean, I could see why it was called. That's close enough to a hook, I guess. Pretty bad call in my book, but whatever, I'm biased. We kill it. No problems at all. And it's a damn good thing that Swayman is on point, though, early in the game, because we're 4 minutes in. He's made a couple big saves already. We're getting bombarded, but 4:10 into the game. It's a high bouncing puck in the neutral zone. I thought this was really clever. It gets kicked way up, and Coyle, as he's coming through the neutral zone, has it in front of him, and he has a defender a little farther in front of him, and then off to the left, and he kind of twirls his stick to smack it over towards the right with this weird little kind of curve, so it allows him to continue his momentum, get the puck away from the defenders, and be the first one to get there. Except for he wasn't the first one to get there. It gets punched into the offensive zone, everyone collapses on the wall, it looks like it's going to get punched fully back out because Coyle wasn't the first one there, but Clifton has a really nice keep-in. And then Clifton picks up speed quick and just handles his way through kind of a congested slot. Like, there's too much space there for a National Hockey League game, but there's still enough sticks and bodies where you go, this is some nice little handles. And he gets into the open space and has a shot with purpose, low blocker, bounces out. What did Coyle do during all of this? He just circled his way around to the opposite circle. Just right opposite dot, just waiting. Puck gets punched out as Lankinen makes the save. Coyle has to have, he's far enough away from the goal, he has to have a really good shot here. And he does. It's short side, it's hard, it's fast. And there's 1-0, less than 5 minutes into the game, and you feel really good about that one play. The other 4 minutes, you are like, ooh, this team doesn't look very good to start the game. Turns out we were going to get that the whole period outside of just that one little play. Although I will say it means the third line still stays hot because they're still putting up points, which we love. Just a few minutes later, we're 7 minutes into the game, and Carlo has what is potentially the worst defensive pinch of the season. For 2 reasons. One, when you are pinching as a defenseman, I played defense. When you're pinching, I was always taught that if you're going to do it, it's safer when it's on the wall. Harder to get the puck out. You can use the wall to leverage. They have to chuck it to the middle of the ice. Pinch down the wall. It's just where it ends up being most of the time anyway. Doesn't mean never pinch in open ice. It doesn't mean that. It just means open ice, there's more chances for the people trying to clear the puck to get it past you. So here's my first issue. Carlo is looking at 4 Chicago Blackhawks, and then 3 Boston Bruins, and then another Blackhawk. Open ice, and it is at best, Carlo, a 50-50. At best. He doesn't have a fucking chance to get here first. And he's late to even sort of start going for the pinch. He tries to pinch a puck in open ice, is way late. It gets poked past him. He doesn't have the foot speed to go back the other way. The other 3 guys are all caught up high, and it is a 4-on-1 against who? You saw the lines. Jack Ashawn. You know, our little bulldog boy. And he doesn't have a chance. It's not like Ashawn even played it poorly. He was playing a 4-on-1. What the fuck are you supposed to do there? So it's Kane to DeBrincat. Swayman has no chance. Ashawn has no chance. It's a tie game. Carlo, buddy, that was so dumb. And you've been playing so much better lately, and I've really cherished that. The first half of this game, though, you reverted right back to what is happening. The second half, though, he decided to take care of his defensive zone, and he did that really well. And I think he did bounce back in this game. 5:17 left. Freddie sort of standing tackles Regula. They were making fun of the way Jack was making fun of the way Bostonians would say that. Regula, I think. Well, he takes him and kind of throws him down. So they're going to call holding on Freddie with 5:17 left. Great kill. Nothing doing for them. 1-1 end of the period. It's a Chicago won the period in the sense that they played up to us and we played poorly. It's not like we were sitting there going, wow, they really kicked the crap out of us this period. Like, we were really bad in our own zone, but it's not like we gave them a ton of chances. It was a really weird feeling where it felt just worse because we were sort of hanging with them rather than them trying to hang with us. Second period starts, 1 minute in, and this is where I first started to get kind of frustrated with the refereeing in this one, and I thought it kind of continued throughout. Third line goes straight to work. It's a really good shift, and Coyle gets blatantly tripped. Just blatantly tripped. And the refs let this one go. Okay, it's a missed call. With the way they were calling some kind of soft stuff in the first, I kind of went, that's a really weird one to let go, that it was just so obvious. I don't know how no one raised their hand, but it's fine, because 4 minutes in, it's our own fault. We can't get the puck down the ice. We finally exit our zone. We're getting bombarded once again. Finally get out of our zone. Foligno tries to chuck it down the boards. This isn't really on Foligno. Ends up just hitting the ref who's against the boards there. To me, it looked like Foligno saw he had space and the ref backed up into it on accident, obviously on accident. But so it bounces the puck back in and it's going to go the other way against us. And this is an awful play by Swayman. It's really, really bad. It's Hagel who's just going to take the right side, burst to speed, gets around the defender, which I believe was Ashawn, and Swayman commits so much to him taking the shot that it comes out too far from the net, and Hagel just goes around him and then around the net and dunks it. That is a huge overcommitment, and it's funny because you look at both the goals and you go, players overcommitting by a hefty margin? Strange game. And so far, first goal wasn't Swayman's fault. Second one was 100% his fault. I mean, I guess 95? Like, yeah, he was going to get a scoring chance, but brutal goaltending on that one. And then the refs are going to completely flip the script, and they're going to work with us, for us almost. It's a lot of power plays in a short amount of time. I'm not saying we didn't deserve them, but all of a sudden they were calling everything for us, which is crazy. 13 minutes left, and for the first time in 93 minutes of play, the Boston Bruins will get a man advantage. 93 minutes. First time they'll get a man advantage that is decided by the referees. The only other, in that 93 minutes, the only other man advantage we've had, not 4v4 or anything like that, actual power play time, was a delay of game over the glass. You literally have to call it. This was the first time in over 90 minutes that we got a power play, which was so weird. And then we made up for it in 10 minutes. We do nothing with the first power play. No dice. That's okay. 2 minutes or a minute after the power play ends, we're going to go back to the power play. Hall gets high-sticked. And with time dwindling on the power play, Ashawn makes a great pinch. He flies down the right side, gets his body in the way, keeps the puck in. But the puck does eventually get away from him while he's down in the corner. And it looks like it's going to get cleared out. It gets bounced out onto the dot. But he doggedly pursues it, strips the puck from the Blackhawks player who has it right there in the dot, follows suit through the slot, and then goes crossbody to the glove side and beats Lankinen. That is 2-2. Power play goal, and Jack Kashan's first as an NHL Bruin, first in the NHL. Beautiful. Good for the kid. I said at the time I didn't love his game up to this point. Again, we're going to talk a little bit more about him. Didn't love his game up to this point. That was a beauty of a play. Go watch the highlight. You're going to love it. Because if you don't like the shot, if you don't like the positioning, I don't care. You're going to love the way he pursues this puck. Oh, it's spicy. It's so good. Directly after this power play goal, the third line goes to work, has a really nice shift with a couple nice chances, but get caught high. And back the other way, Patrick Kane is going to get mostly a free bid from a 3-on-2. He has enough space. That guy should shoot always. Swayman gets it with a glove. Swayman did have some really nice saves this game. It's just the ones that he didn't have that really make you bummed. Make you bummed. And with 5.5 minutes left in the period, Chicago can't catch their breath. Interference as DeBrusk is attempting to go after a puck. DeBrusk affected this game in a lot of ways, I thought, away from the puck. And I want to give him credit for that. I think a lot of players had these nice shifts, had these nice moments. In general, it was a tough game for a lot of guys. But let's point out some positives. Because sometimes you have an off night and you just have to win the game. And they found a way to do that. So again, let's find some positives. Speaking of positives, how about that puck battle? We're in a power play. Pasta's playing lazy as shit against the left wall. Bumps the puck to Bergeron. Bergeron's fighting for it against two Blackhawks. Ends up tying them up enough for Pasta to come around and recollect it. Whips it around the boards to where McAvoy, instead of working the top of the umbrella, Marchand's up there. McAvoy is going to be on the right dot. Collects the puck. No look. Speed-filled, incredible, I used the wrong adjectives here. Whips it across the slot. No looka. Whips it across. Perfect pass to Pasta, who hammers this. No chance for Lankinen. That is 3-2 off of a couple power play goals late in the second period. Finding a way to win. Finding a way to win. And the referee, like I said, it just swapped in our favor for a 10-minute span. And boom, we picked it up. Did we deserve that? Sure, I think so. I think all those calls were legitimate. I sound really biased here being like, wow, they're calling soft stuff, but then the stuff for us is good. You know where I'm coming from. It's fine. And then not a great start to the third. It's 3-2. You have a 1-goal lead. Hey, hold on to that. No, not going to happen. 30 seconds in. Arm goes up on Coyle for hooking, and it takes another minute just to get the puck. So we have to deal with a minute of 6-on-5. We get the puck. Play gets called dead. We're going to go to the penalty kill. I thought we had this kill. We were looking really good for a lot of it. And then with 1 second left on the power play for the Hawks, transition into our zone. And Kane, it's like a 3-on-2. Kane goes to Strome on the right side. Strome tries to feed it across the slot. It gets to Swayman, and it looks like Swayman got this covered. But it got bumped forward away from him. He couldn't get it in time. I can't tell if he was the one to bump this, or if it was the defense that knocked this away from him, or if it was a Hawks player that knocked it away from him. I couldn't quite see, but it looked like he had time to cover it up and just missed. So it gets bumped right back out. And then, who else but Hagel is there? A guy that I think a few of us are kind of watching this game wondering if he could be a Bruin. He's there to just fling this past Swayman. That is 3-3. Just a few minutes into the third period. Plenty of time to still win this game, but you don't want it to come to a coin flip here. You really don't. 4 minutes later-ish, it's now 7 minutes into the period. We get our first shot on net of the period. Great. I'm worried at this point. The team just doesn't have it tonight. It's not going to go in our favor, and some dumb fucking bounce is going to go away from us, and we're going to lose this game. And in the next 5 minutes, between the minutes of 13 and 8, you could tell both teams were frantic about possession. Because they thought the same thing I thought. This is going to come down to one stupid bounce. And each team wanted to put themselves in the position for that stupid bounce. And I know that's an obvious statement that everyone's like, yeah, that's hockey. I mean, tie game in the third. This one felt more tenacious about we need possession. We need possession now. Because neither team was confident about scoring another goal. They were just hoping to be the ones to get a bounce. 8 minutes left, and we're going to the power play, baby. Hall gets tripped blatantly right in front of the ref. We come back from a commercial. It's 4-on-4. They called Taylor Hall for embellishment. I have no idea how this one was embellishment. I really don't. He got the stick right under the skate, and Hall went down. I don't know if Hall said something or yelled real loud or something. I don't know. I don't know what happened here. No clue how this was embellishment. But we're going to 4v4. Nothing comes out of it. And I'm so glad it was Taylor Hall who won this game for us, because it really was. Because with 15 seconds left in the game, Taylor Hall is on his knees battling two Hawks in the corner of the offensive zone. And from his knees, whips this puck into the slot. And it's too hot for anyone to handle. There's defenders, there's Bergeron, no one can get their stick on it. It trickles through to Pasternak, who's on the far side of Lankinen, and just buries this. Pasta gets the praise. I get it. That's Taylor Hall, who earned a lot of praise on that play. 4-3. We score. Technically, it was 16 seconds left. We score. We hold them off for the last 16. You were worried, though. I know you were. I was, too. And that's a dub. That's a huge dub in a way that we needed to get one. Some nights you just don't have it. We didn't have it there. We got the win. Good teams do that. Game notes. Not a banner night for Sway. Had a rough one for now the second game in a row. Am I concerned? No, not really. Goaltending's like that. The front runner and basically guaranteed Vezina winner, Igor Shesterkin for the Rangers, allowed a ton of goals on not many shots tonight. He got shellacked. I think he got pulled by the second period. Got absolutely blitzed. It happens. So I'm not that worried. He's probably going to get the next Chicago game, I think. I don't think you start him against Saturday. I think let Ullmark have that start. It's not a big deal. We're not trying to force anything here. Swayman will get back to it. We talked about this last game that Swayman was in. He's just not a guy that seems to get bothered by these kind of things. I'm not worried about him getting in his head too much. He's a solid goalie. He knows he is. He'll be back. He'll look better next time. Ashawn, pre-goal, panicky, very gun-shy, would make the safe dump-in play that really just was turning the puck over and over and over again. That it's turning the puck over with coaches smiling and nodding. Like, it's such a weird thing where it's like, I know that the Blackhawks are going to have a really good chance of getting this puck and clearing it out before we get there. Like, we're not in a position for a great forecheck yet, but he just chucked it down there because he just did not want it on his stick and he was gun-shy. After the goal, he's seeing everyone in front of him. He's finding tape-to-tapers. He is playing a whole different game of chess, and he looked way better. And it was not, when he scored that goal, I was shocked because I was like, wow, he's not playing well, and then all of a sudden that real dogged play goes in for him. It was a great shot. Everything about the play was great, but he wasn't playing well up to this point. The confidence a goal gives you, man, it really changes everything. I'm not sitting here going like, he scored a goal, so he must have had a great game. He had a really bad first half of the game, and then he played a lot better. Carlo had a really bad first half of the game, and he started to play a lot better. Clifton had a really good start to the game, and then he stopped playing very well. I'm so mean to Clifton. It's fine. All right, guys, that does it for me. I mentioned it before. Like, comment, subscribe. I didn't mention that. Nailed it. We need to get a couple wins out of these games. Arizona or Chicago, these next ones coming up. We have to win at least one more of them. I don't care if we drop a game every now and against a bad team. I am back on the I don't care if we catch Toronto thing. I'm refocusing myself. I don't care if we catch Toronto. Either way, the first round matchup is going to be crazy. I believe in this team. Fully. Trade deadline video likely coming Sunday, or at least Sunday is my big research day. So it's coming early next week or Sunday. So get your questions in. Join the Discord. Go Bees!